Do we need to drink water? The million-dollar question. Why do we need to drink water? Well, let me give you a few pieces of information that will help you understand why we do need to drink water and why it must be water, not juice, not cordial, not soda drinks, not tea, not coffee, but water. We urinate out, we're going to say a quart loss every day. So we urinate out of our kidneys. We urinate out 1.5 quart loss. Out of our skin, and most people are surprised at this, we lose 0.5 of a quart loss. Out of our colon, we lose 0.3 of a quart loss. This is in 24-hour period. Out of our lungs, we lose 0.2 of a quart loss. So considering in a day, that is 2.5 quart loss. We need to be drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. That's 4 glasses per quart. That takes us to 2 quarts a day when we have 8 glasses of water a day. What about the other 0.5? Well, that's coming in our fruits, in our vegetables, maybe herb teas, maybe a vegetable juice through the day. And that quart is important. That 8 glasses of water a day is important because every single body functions requires water. And water alone will do it. We had a pathologist do our program. He said, "You'll find this interesting, Barbara. We did studies on caffeine. And we discovered that it takes, from 1 cup of coffee, it takes 5 glasses of water to make up for the dehydrating agents in a cup of coffee." Wow, that quite surprised me. But when you consider that, I think most Americans, most Australians are dehydrated. So I always ask a person, how much water do you drink a day? These are some of the answers I get. Not enough. Not much. I don't drink water or my legs swell. I don't drink water because I'm visiting the bathroom too much. Those last 2 answers tell me that the water's not getting inside the cell. What I've drawn here is the cell, and you'll see that the cell has a bilayered membrane around it. So how do we get the water inside the cell? To consider how we get the water inside the cell, we need to look at the 4 vital elements needed for life. So what are the 4 vitals? The most vital element needed for life, so we'll put a list here, the 4 vitals. The most vital element needed for life is oxygen, and I'm sure that's not a surprise. The second most vital element needed for life, whether you're a flea, whether you're a frog, whether you're a human, whether you're a plant, is water. No water, really, no life. You might be aware that in the middle of Australia, there's a big desert. There's not a lot of life in the middle of Australia. There is some, and they've adapted to living in desert conditions. Most of the people that live in Australia are living around the edge, and around the edge, there's more water. The third most vital element needed for life is sodium. The fourth is potassium. But what I'd like to look at, just for a minute, I'd like to look at sodium, because it is sodium that helps the water get inside the cell. Where you'll find the largest amount of sodium is seawater, and seawater contains 92 minerals. Of those 92 minerals, 30% is made up of sodium, and 50% is made up of chloride. So sodium chloride makes up the most amount. And so when the water is evaporated from seawater, the first crystals formed is sodium chloride. So what man does is he scoops up the sodium chloride, he bleaches it white, he puts aluminium with it, there's your table salt. So table salt has 2 minerals, sodium chloride. These two minerals are very harsh. If you were to inject sodium chloride straight into the veins of a person, you would kill them. These two minerals are so harsh that in table salt, they're killing the taste buds. God designed us to have salt the way He made it, in all of its wholeness, with all of its minerals. So the salt that we use is Celtic salt. Celtic salt is a hand-harvested sea salt, and Celtic salt has 82 minerals. Where are the other 10? Well, they're in such pico proportions, barely measurable, that it's inevitable that some are lost in the evaporation process. But 82 is a lot closer than 2. And there are 3 magnesiums in Celtic salt. There's magnesium chloride, there's magnesium bromide, and there is magnesium sulfate. Magnesium is a water-hungry molecule. And because it's a water-hungry molecule, it takes on the moisture. That's why Celtic salt is often a moist salt. One lady said, I don't like Celtic salt, it's just so wet. I said, they're the 3 magnesiums. We have a ceramic grinder that we sell and use in our health retreat. And we get enough Celtic salt to fill the grinder, and we put it in the oven and we dry it out. And then we put it in the grinder, and then it's easy to grind. But if we have a lot of rain, we know that that salt in the grinder is going to absorb the moisture, and we have to empty it out and put it in the oven again. It's a very wet salt because of the magnesium in it.
Have you ever stopped to think about what your body really craves? According to renowned Australian health educator Barbara O'Neill, the answer is surprisingly simple: water, and nothing else. In her passionate teachings, Barbara O'Neill explains that water isn't just a drink we drink when we're thirsty. It's the fundamental building block of life. Our bodies are made up of approximately 70% water. Every cell, every tissue, every organ depends on it to function properly. But the problem isn't just that we don't drink enough water. It's that we replace it with beverages that do more harm than good. Coffee, tea, soda, and even many fruit juices don't hydrate the body. Some of these, like caffeine and sugary drinks, actually dehydrate us by acting as diuretics, taking more water from the body than they give it. Barbara O'Neill's revelation is impressive because it is so simple and yet so overlooked. She explains that we lose water every day in a way that we often forget. Through breathing, we lose about a glass of water a day. Through perspiration, especially in hot weather or during physical activity, the loss increases dramatically. We also lose water through urine and bowel movements. All this water needs to be replenished, and if it isn't, our body begins to function at a deficit. The symptoms of this deficit may not be extreme at first. A little headache here, a little tiredness there, dry skin, poor concentration. But over time, the effects of chronic dehydration accumulate, affecting everything from digestion to joint health and cognitive performance. So how much water should we really drink? Barbara O'Neill is firm on this point. She recommends a minimum of 8 glasses of water a day. But this is not just a casual suggestion. It's a vital rule for health. She recommends that people spread their water intake throughout the day, starting with 1 or 2 glasses first thing in the morning to rehydrate the body after a night's sleep. Then continue to drink water between meals and not during them, which can dilute digestive enzymes and impair digestion. And if you're wondering whether other beverages count toward your 8-glass goal, Barbara O'Neill is clear. No. Water is water. No additives, no sweeteners, no colorings, just pure H2O. It's the only thing that truly hydrates you at a cellular level. She points out that many people suffer from chronic dehydration without even realizing it, because their thirst mechanism becomes dulled over time, especially when ignored or overridden by coffee, soda, and energy drinks.
So when you put a few crystals of the Celtic salt in your mouth before you drink the water, the mucous membranes absorb the minerals, it's taken into the blood, and once you've had that Celtic salt, just maybe a few seconds in your mouth, then drink the water, the magnesium pulls the water inside the cell. It's the quickest way to hydrate a body. Something else happens. As that water is drawn through and into the cell under the action of the magnesium, there's a little motor inside this membrane around the cell. And when the water rushes through, it causes the motor to begin spinning, and that gives us a unit of energy. So when you're a little tired, maybe mid-morning, mid-afternoon, have a little bit of the Celtic salt, have your water, and you'll feel a little bit of a boost of energy as the water rushes into the cell, causing that little motor to spin. We have 100 trillion cells in the body, and so this process is handy to know. So when most people are going outside to maybe have a cigarette or a cup of coffee, you can just have your Celtic salt and that glass of water.
But Barbara O'Neill doesn't just recommend water. She goes a step further and shares a powerful technique for increasing hydration at the cellular level. This technique involves something quite surprising: Celtic salt. Unlike processed table salt, which is stripped of its natural minerals and can contribute to health problems when consumed in excess, Celtic salt is an unrefined, mineral-rich salt that actually supports health when used correctly. It contains trace minerals that the body needs to balance fluids, support adrenal function, and maintain healthy blood pressure. By adding just a pinch of Celtic salt to your drinking water, especially your first glass in the morning, you can dramatically improve your body's ability to absorb and utilize that water. Barbara O'Neill explains that the cells in your body don't automatically absorb water. They need the right electrolyte balance to pull water into the cells, where it's actually needed. Celtic salt provides these minerals and acts as a natural electrolyte, creating a balance that allows for deeper, more effective hydration. If you found this information valuable, hit the like button, share this video with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more life-saving health tips.